This is the Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald podcast, published on 18th of June 2025. This free service is provided by volunteers for Bishopbriggs-based charity Cue and Review Print Speaking to the Blind for the benefit of local visually and reading impaired people. Companion is top volunteer. Report by Kevin Roberts. Marie Curie Companion Volunteer Steve Goody has been recognised by Eastern Bartonshire Voluntary Awards (EDVA) for his services to supporting local people living with a terminal illness. Steve, 73 from Torrance, was nominated by Marie Curie and received the Volunteer of the Year award earlier this month. The dad of one has been volunteering with the charity since 2022. I'm retired, so I've got time on my hands and the usual kind of thing that I guess everybody says, but it's true. But to put something back, to help others, he said modestly. My wife died of cancer in 2015 and, for a couple of nights, she had a Marie Curie nurse just to give me a break because she was at home. She also spent 4 days in the Marie Curie Hospice, Glasgow, but for her, she wanted to die at home, and Marie Curie made that possible for her. Steve is a Marie Curie Companion Volunteer, where he visits people in their homes for a few hours a week. When you visit people in their homes, you can get a better feel for the person. You know what's going on around them, and you can maybe think, maybe we should be asking them this or trying to help them with this. Each of my clients are different with different needs. I have one client who's losing his independence and his mobility. He only wanted to be talking for about an hour or so, and that was the maximum. I knew when he was ready because he would say, "Oh, you coming again next week?" And that was the signal that he had had enough for that week. Steve continued, "The person I was previously matched with was a lady and she had dementia. Her husband found the visits really useful because it meant he had a couple of hours talking to somebody who could respond. Obviously, it's difficult when your partner's got dementia and trying to get a conversation going or to talk about things in general. So, although I was matched to her, I probably spent more time with her husband because she was sleeping a lot. It can be surprising sometimes, some of the things that people say. What's going on in their mind at that time is sometimes difficult to anticipate, but it's humbling as well. The way they deal with things and the way their family deal with things, so overall, it's just a good experience. I enjoy speaking to different people. For me, it makes me go out and do things. When you retire, you've got to have a plan because otherwise you end up thinking you'll do this or that, and then you go, no, I'll do it tomorrow. But doing this means that once you've got to go and do it, once it's forced you out of the house, you feel a lot better for it, and it encourages me to then go on and do other things as well. It's very fulfilling because everybody says thank you. You know that you're doing something that is helping them when they're in a very, very difficult situation. So you do get thanks for doing it, and that encourages you to do it as well. I didn't expect to be awarded for what I do, but it's lovely to have been recognised." Tracy Brown, Community Engagement and Development Manager at Marie Curie Scotland, said, "We were so proud to be able to nominate Steve for this award, as he's one of our most dedicated and committed volunteers. Over the last year, Steve has helped us to carry out client assessments so that we can provide support to families across Greater Glasgow, and has also supported 2 families himself. We had some lovely feedback from one family Stephen supports, where he had been able to help their dad visit all his favourite places around Glasgow, something he struggled to do on his own, but that was very important to him. The family have told us about the difference Steve has made as he has continued to visit their dad in hospital. The gentleman's daughter has described Steve as being like an angel who has come to support her dad and his family at a time that has been very difficult for them all, and he's also been there for her to listen and provide emotional support at a time that has been so hard for her. It's a pleasure to work with Steve, and we are so proud of the difference he makes as part of the companion team here in Glasgow." That report was written by Kevin Roberts and read by Ian McKenna. This Week in History. June 21st, 1970. Tony Jacklin became the first British golfer to win the US Open for 50 years and, with his British Open victory 11 months earlier, became only the third golfer to accomplish this double within a 12-month period. June 22nd, 1941, the German army invaded Russia. On this day last year, pro-Palestinian protesters sprayed red paint on a historic building at the University of Cambridge. Students and members of the Palestine Action Group targeted Senate House, a building that has been used for graduation ceremonies since the 18th century. June 23rd, 1956. General Nasser became Egypt's first president after an election in which voting was compulsory and he was the only candidate. On this day last year, Coronation Street actor Jack P. Shepherd announced his engagement to long-term partner Hanny Treweek. June 24, 1981, the bridge over the Humber Estuary opened to traffic. Its official opening by the Queen took place on July 17. June 25, 1969, Pancho Gonzalez and Charlie Pasarell played a record 112-game singles match at Wimbledon's Centre Court, lasting 5 hours, 12 minutes. Gonzalez, aged 41, won. On this day last year, the Labour Party suspended candidate Kevin Craig after being told the Gambling Commission had launched an investigation into him. That was This Week in History, read by Ian. Alcohol deliveries approved. A grocery shop in Bishopbriggs has been granted permission to deliver orders containing alcohol to customers. Day-to-Day Express, based at the town's Woodhill Road, applied to East Bartonshire Council's licensing board for a variation to its existing licence which would allow it to deliver alcoholic products. At a meeting of the board, the store's proprietor Mohammed Chaudhry explained that he had been running the business for 12 years and had always fully cooperated with authorities, such as the police and licensing officers. He added that it was already standard procedure to refuse sales of large quantities of alcohol, and that all staff were fully trained and held premises licences, and that deliveries would cease at 8 p.m. The Health and Social Care Partnership requested that alcohol only be included in deliveries which also contained food. Mr. Chaudhry explained that 80% of orders were of this nature, and again reiterated that large orders for alcohol would be refused. There was no adverse comment on the application from Police Scotland. Mr. Chaudhry said his business needed to make this change due to the number of other retailers which already offered deliveries including alcohol. Following a brief recess to consider the application, it was unanimously approved by the licensing board. That article was read by Ian. Plans for 12 flats for rent. Eastern Bartonshire Council has published details of its plans for affordable housing units to be built at a site near Torrens Main Street. The council intends to construct 2 3-storey buildings, providing a total of 12 new flats for rental to tenants. These would be erected on land which is currently vacant and close to the main street. The application includes parking, with a total of 15 spaces to be included in the development, alongside access, landscaping and infrastructure features. Eastern Bartonshire Council has been working for years to increase the supply of quality, affordable housing in the area, not only by constructing new homes, but also through other means such as purchasing properties on the open market. The application is currently available to view on Eastern Bartonshire Council's website, planning reference TP/ED/25/0318. That article was read by Ian. Awards for volunteers. Report written by Kevin Roberts. Scottish Conservative and Unionist MSP Dr Pam Gossel MBE has revealed the winners of her 2025 East and Western Bartonshire Volunteer Awards. This is the 3rd consecutive year that the MP has run her Volunteer Awards, as a way to honour and celebrate the many fantastic volunteers across East and Western Bartonshire. In Kirkintilloch, William Wilson from Grace was an award winner, whilst Ian Bell from Deafblind Scotland and Angus Buck from Creativators were highly commended. Volunteers are the backbone of our community, and Dr. Gossel is passionate about recognising the vital work volunteers do within the local area. The Scottish Conservative and Unionist MSP said, "I am very pleased to announce the winners of this year's 2025 East and West Dunbartonshire Volunteer Awards. Volunteers are the heart of our community. They give their time, skills and compassion to support those in need, strengthen connections and make our local area somewhere to be proud of. I was so pleased to receive a huge number of nominations for so many volunteers across East and West Dunbartonshire. Selecting award winners from all these entries was very difficult. I was pleased to award William Wilson from Grace as a winner, with Ian Bell from Deafblind Scotland and Angus Buck from Creativators being highly commended. The full list of award winners in East and West Dunbartonshire. Award winners: William Wilson, GRACE, Rachel Forbes and Frankie Livingston, Mulgai and Bloom, Sandy Welsh, Mulgai and Bearsden Main Shed, Walter Proven, Bearsden Festival, Hazel Jack, Bearsden and Bloom, Francis Annis, Old Kilpatrick Food Parcels. Highly commended award: Angus Buck, Creativators, Ian Bell, Deafblind Scotland. That report was written by Kevin McRoberts.
Opposition to Siting of New School by Kevin McRoberts. A report published by Mid-Dunbartonshire MP Susan Murray indicates overwhelming opposition to the proposed new building for Lenzie Academy at Whitecraigs Park. Ms Murray said that this was the first piece of research which gave voice to and analysed different perspectives on the development, and ultimately highlights residents' overwhelming opposition to the plans. This report comes after residents raised concerns with their local MP about East Dunbartonshire Council's lack of consultation on the issue. With ground testing and tree clearing already underway in the park, she said residents were anxious that they were given a say in whether Whitegates Park was the most suitable location for the school. Consulting more than 300 people in the Lenzie Academy catchment area, the report picks out key themes in residents' concerns about the development, and ultimately emphasises the need for the council to properly involve the community in deciding what a new Lenzie Academy should look like. Ms Murray said, "I have received correspondence from a number of constituents expressing concern at their lack of meaningful involvement in deciding where the new Lenzie Academy building should be located. That's why I decided to put together this report, as it gives us a clear understanding of the community's opinion of the development, which East Dunbartonshire Council has not previously sought out. It is important that the Council works in collaboration with the local community to reach a conclusion which meets the needs of residents." Adam Harley, Liberal Democrat candidate for Strathkelvin and Bearsden, added, "If the Council want the best outcome, not only for our green spaces, but also our young people's education, they must make it an absolute priority to listen to the local community." The report is now available on Susan Murray's website at www.susanmurray.info/Whitegates-Park-report. Last week, the Council held a public consultation drop-in event for the public to share their views on the proposed development. More on the rebuild project can be found at eastdunbartonshire.gov.uk/Lenzie-Academy-rebuild. This article was written by Kevin McRoberts and it was read by Jahan. Male Voice Choir Sings on the Day for Making Music by Kevin McRoberts. Thousands of free in-person and online events will take place up and down the country this Saturday, June 21st, to mark this year's Make Music Day, the world's largest annual celebration of music. As part of the celebrations, Kirkintilloch Male Voice Choir, or KMVC, will be performing Sing in the Gardens in Regent Gardens in Kirkintilloch. Make Music Day is the UK's largest single-day music festival, encouraging musicians, producers, promoters and music lovers to collaborate and organise in person and online performances in and for their communities. Since beginning as Fête de la Musique in France in 1982, Make Music Day has grown into a global phenomenon that takes place annually in 125 countries, always on June 21st. Solo performers, groups, and music creators of all types are invited to take part, regardless of age, ability, or musical genre. The Kirkintilloch Male Voice Choir will be performing under the canopy in the performance area in Regent Gardens, Cowgate, Kirkintilloch, from 11:30am till around 12:15pm. All are welcome to this free event. KMVC Musical Director Sally McClellan said, "It is an honour for the choir to be joining so many other musical ensembles taking part in the Make Music Day festival throughout the world on Saturday. To be able to perform in the heart of our town makes it even more special. Our thanks go to Kirkintilloch Community Council for their help in making this possible." To find out more about Make Music Day in the UK and other events taking place, go to makemusicday.co.uk. That article was written by Kevin McRoberts.
New community digital zones will boost connectivity. Report by Kevin McRoberts. 2 new digital zones, including one in Christing Cultural Centre, have opened to provide residents, partners and local organisations with access to the latest technology and resources to improve digital skills and confidence. Set up by North Lanarkshire Council, the zones in the libraries at Buchanan Centre in Coatbridge and Christing Cultural Centre were set up as a pilot project following recent public consultation, which attracted 630 responses from residents with a range of digital skills and experience. Respondents expressed interest in using digital zones with free Wi-Fi, printing, scanning, devices for online courses and public services. They also wanted staff support and the option to book a space or drop in. As a result, each zone has a modern digital infrastructure, including free high-speed internet, digital resources, printers and public computers. There is also adaptive technology, including large monitors, optical mice, noise-cancelling headphones, and voice recognition software. Residents can drop in or book a space through phone, email or online methods at both libraries. We are excited to launch these digital zones and bring the benefits of digital connectivity to our community, said Councillor Geraldine Woods, convener of North Lanarkshire's Council's Communities Committee. This initiative is a testament to our commitment to digital inclusion and innovation, ensuring that everyone has the opportunity to thrive in the digital age. That report was written by Kevin McRoberts. Fund opens for applications. Applications are now open for Co-op's local community fund, and local charities and community groups in East Dunbartonshire can apply for a share of the £5 million fund. The Co-op is looking to support local community causes that enable people to access food, improve mental well-being, create opportunities for young people, promote community cohesion or build sustainable futures. Thanks to Co-op members, the local community fund has helped 39,000 causes across the UK since 2016. Applications are open until Sunday, July the 6th. For more information and to apply, visit coop.co.uk/causes. That's coop.co.uk/CAUSES. David Luckin, Co-op's Head of Community Partnerships, Funding and Impact, said, "It's always exciting to start the search for local causes to take part in a new round of funding. Our members have told us that they want the Co-op focus on real issues affecting people's lives and act on the issues that matter most. We know that things are increasingly challenging for communities, and through this funding, we can make a difference locally and help people to thrive. With its history dating back 180 years, Co-op is one of the largest consumer-owned cooperatives. Its 6.5 million members own the business and play an intrinsic part in its governance with a say in how the organisation is run. Co-op exists to create value for its membership and communities, and Co-op members can view local causes and choose a community project close to their own heart via the Co-op membership app. Read by Ian. You can be part of Lisa's year-long art challenge. Report by Kevin McRoberts. Milton of Campsie artist and fairy maker Lisa Cochrane of Elm&B has launched a 365-day painting challenge, and she's asking the public to be part of it. Lisa is inviting people to submit photographs of their local landscapes, woodlands, trees, gardens, flowers, plants, seascapes, or even urban scenes to help inspire her magical daily paintings. If your photo speaks to me, I may just paint it as part of this creative journey, says Lisa. But this challenge isn't just about beautiful art, it's also a story of resilience. Just a few months ago, Lisa suffered a traumatic injury, breaking her dominant wrist in 3 places. Determined not to let the injury to stop her from creating, she taught herself to paint with her non-dominant left hand and began this year-long daily art challenge. Over time, the challenge has become a form of physical therapy, helping Lisa gradually rehabilitate her right hand. Each day she creates a miniature 7cm by 7cm artwork. This journey is not only a creative challenge, but also a form of self-healing, proving that art will always find a way, even through pain and limitation. I believe everyone is creative. It's growing up that convinces us otherwise, Lisa explains. This challenge is about embracing imperfection, connecting with nature and rediscovering magic in the everyday. Lisa's distinctive work draws heavily from Scottish folklore, natural beauty and sustainable art practices. She paints on reclaimed wood and vintage materials and is best known for her charming handmade fell fairies, crafted from upcycled tartans and tweeds. She also runs monthly painting workshops, encouraging beginners to explore art as a joyful and healing experience. Each mini painting she creates during this challenge becomes a tiny portal into a world of wonder, inspired by local scenes, memories and magical details on the landscape. And now, she hopes these portals can begin with other people's photos too. To follow the journey or submit a photo for consideration, contact Lisa at Elm&B by emailing elmandbee@gmail.com. That's ELMANDBEE @gmail.com. Elm&B can also be found on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. That report was written by Kevin McRoberts. Leader signs up to Joe Cox pledge. Report by Kevin McRoberts. Council leader Gordon Lowe has signed a pledge on behalf of all East Dunbartonshire councillors in support of the Joe Cox Civility Campaign. The campaign, in tribute and memory of the late MP Joe Cox, who was murdered in June 2016 on her way to a constituency surgery, commits politicians to set a civil and constructive tone, to act with integrity, honesty and compassion, and to always behave respectfully towards others, including political opponents. The Joe Cox Foundation also aims to tackle all forms of abuse and intimidation against elected representatives so that our democratic processes can be carried out properly, elected representatives can feel safe, and potential future candidates are not put off from standing for office. The move comes after East Dunbartonshire councillors unanimously backed a motion by in support of the Joe Cox campaign. Councillor Lowe said, East Dunbartonshire councillors from all parties supported this motion, which hopefully shows that despite our political differences, we all want to make life better for our communities and that we accept our own role in making sure that politics at all levels remain respectful. There are strong views across the political spectrum, but we must all ensure that the public, elected officials, candidates and activists can carry out their roles or express their views without fear of harassment or threats. For more information on the Joe Cox Foundation, visit www.joecoxfoundation.org. That's www.joecoxfoundation.org. Report by Kevin McRoberts. Council staff to vote on pay offer. Council staff in Eastern Bartonshire and across the rest of Scotland are to be balloted on a new pay offer. Employees who are members of Unison, largest union in local government, representing over 80,000 workers across all 32 councils, will be asked to vote on a new 2-year deal. Council staff are to be balloted after unions received the offer from local government employers COSLA on Friday. The new offer is for 4% this year and 3.5% for the next financial year, 2026-27. Unison's local government committee met to discuss the offer and has decided to recommend to members that they vote to accept. Last month, the union's members were balloted on whether to strike following an early offer from COSLA of a 3% increase in 2025-26 for all council workers in Scotland. David O'Connor, Unison Scotland's head of local government, said, "The threat of possible strikes by council employees has forced COSLA back to the table, but it should not have taken the possibility of staff walkouts closing services to get COSLA and the Scottish Government to listen to the workforce. Local authority workers were due a pay rise in April. Despite the delay, this is a sensible offer. The union will be putting the new amount to the council staff over the next few weeks, recommending that they accept." Unison represents workers across all pay grades who provide a range of services, including education, social care, transport, environmental health, housing, planning, economic development and leisure services. That article was read by Ian.
Honour for the founder of an aftercare charity by Kevin McRoberts. The founder of a peer-led charity in East Dunbartonshire has been awarded the British Empire Medal, or BEM, in the King's Birthday Honours 2025. Robert Smith of Kirkintilloch, who battled his own demons with alcohol after being made redundant from his job in the building trade following the economic downturn in the industry, established Group Recovery Aftercare Community Enterprise, or GRACE, in 2012. He joins more than 110 people across Scotland being celebrated on the honours list, with recipients including dedicated community champions, role models in sport, pioneers in the arts, passionate health workers, and supporters of young people. The local peer-led membership organisation and charity, established by Robert, serves the whole of East Dunbartonshire. GRACE provides recovery aftercare for people who have experienced life traumas such as bereavement, ill health, loneliness and isolation, mental health issues and homelessness problems, and also those who are settled in recovery from addiction to alcohol, drugs or gambling. Robert has worked tirelessly to provide a safe space to support anyone who has suffered from trauma, but he has always stressed the charity could not achieve what it has without the efforts of the many volunteers who give up their time to help run activities every week. GRACE, which operates from Hillhead and Auchinairn community centres, has a board of volunteers and a team of volunteers who provide learning, training, health and well-being activities, personal development and physical pursuits for those in need of support, enabling them to become a positive, useful member of the family and community. They encourage all members to engage in peer support and volunteering, which may lead to better life opportunities through increased confidence and enhanced skills. The charity's success can be measured by the many people who have returned to employment after turning to Grace for support. Also featuring on the King's Birthday Honours list is Professor Ewan Beaton MacDonald, OBE, of Kirkintilloch, who has been awarded the Commander of the Order of the British Empire, or CBE. The Professor and Head of the Healthy Working Lives Group at the University of Glasgow has been honoured for services to occupational medicine and reducing health inequalities. Eric Brownlee of Lenzie has been named a Member of the Order of the British Empire, or MBE, for services to further education in Scotland. After a career in further education spanned more than 30 years, Eric retired in December last year, following 16 years as Assistant Principal of Curriculum and Quality Enhancement at Glasgow Clyde College. He had previously taught PE in England and Belgium, before becoming a lecturer at Falkirk College, then James Watt College, and finally Anniesland College in 2007, which became Glasgow Clyde College in 2013. He was also an Associate Assessor with Education Scotland for 15 years. That article was written by Kevin McRoberts. Charity aims to empower people to be more active, by Kevin McRoberts. Scotland's national walking and wheeling charity has announced it has rebranded, marking a bold new chapter after almost 30 years of empowering people to walk more, move more, and enjoy the outdoors. Walking Scotland has officially unveiled its new identity, replacing its long-established name, Paths for All. The change aims to better reflect the charity's mission and growing impact across the country, and it signals a renewed commitment to embedding walking and wheeling into the everyday lives of Scots, enhancing health, well-being and sustainability. From local health walks to national policy changes, the organisation has built meaningful partnerships and inspired communities to enjoy the benefits of active travel. This rebrand follows their Everyday in May campaign as part of National Walking Month, which encouraged people across Scotland to walk daily and to discover the profound social, physical and mental benefits that even short walks can bring. The charity's new name reinforces its position as the country's national authority on walking and wheeling, building on decades of proven impact while setting ambitious goals for the future. It envisions a Scotland where everyone, regardless of who they are or where they live, has access to safe, welcoming environments to walk and wheel. Walking Scotland's launch follows overwhelming support for a clearer, bolder brand that better communicates its purpose and makes it easier for people to get involved, whether through walking, wheeling, supporting, or donating. The shift also reflects the growing recognition of walking as a low-cost, high-impact solution to a range of societal challenges, from health inequalities to the climate-nature emergency. Kevin Lafferty, Chief Executive of Walking Scotland, said, "This isn't just a name change, it's a renewed commitment to putting walking and wheeling at the heart of everyday life in Scotland. For almost 30 years, we've made a real difference in communities across the country, but we're not done yet. Walking changes lives. It improves health, connects people, and helps address some of Scotland's biggest challenges. Walking Scotland reflects a fresh and inclusive identity that truly captures the scale of our ambition for the next 30 years. We want everyone in Scotland to be able to walk and wheel everywhere, every day. The feedback from our stakeholders, communities and partners has been incredibly positive. This brand resonates and will help us reach more people and grow our impact." The organisation points to a growing body of evidence that supports its mission. According to the most recent National Attitudes Survey, over 77% of Scots agree that walking helps to clear their minds and improve their mood. Crucially, walking is free, widely accessible, and requires no special equipment, making it a simple yet powerful tool in the fight against inactivity, social isolation, and pressure on the NHS. To find out more about Walking Scotland, visit www.walkingscotland.org.uk. That article was written by Kevin McRoberts.
Wednesday the 18th of June 2025. Let's talk the Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald's letters page. Please send your letters via email to kirkyherald@jnscotland.co.uk. That's KIRKYHERALD @JNScotland.co.uk and write letters in the subject field. Please keep letters to a maximum of 300 words. Letters cannot be published without a name and postal address. Also include a daytime phone number if possible. We reserve the right to edit any letter. Free school meals. Sir, what wonderful news that from the start of 2026 school year, every pupil whose household is on universal credit will have a new entitlement to free school meals. This announcement will break down huge barriers to opportunity in order to give children the best start in life. Hence, after 14 years of cruel Tory cuts, this announcement is a huge boost for parents struggling to get on in life, and is even more proof that, with this Labour government, when promises are made, promises are kept. Yours, etc., Jeffrey Brooking, by email. Labour's hopes raised. Sir, while Labour's victory in the recent Hamilton by-election seemingly points to the party winning the Scottish Parliament elections next year, if I were Anna Sarwar, I wouldn't be sizing up the curtains of Bute House just yet. The seat was won comfortably by the SNP in the last Scottish Parliament election in 2021, and is just the sort of seat that Labour needs to win if Anna Sarwar is to become Scotland's next First Minister. The SNP has made little progress in restoring its fortunes following its heavy defeat in last summer's Westminster election, with polls suggesting that the party's support across Scotland is still 15 points down in its tally in 2021. In the event, the fall in the party's support in Hamilton was, at 17 points, just a little higher than that. However, Labour's own tally was also down by 2 points on its vote in 2021, when overall the party came a disappointing third. That drop was very much in line with recent polling, which puts the party at just 19% across Scotland as a whole, while the SNP has around a third of the vote. In addition, Labour is losing somewhere between 1 in 6 and 1 in 5 of its voters to reform since last year's election. After nearly 2 decades in the political wilderness, there is little sign that Labour, as it currently stands, is set to regain reins of power at Holyrood. Yours, etc., Alex Orr, by email. Indie fatigue. Sir, I hope someone in the SNP will tell us when they have pressed the independence button they keep threatening to activate. Otherwise, I think for the vast majority of Scots, including many SNP sympathisers, there will not be an iota of difference to what we have suffered for the last few decades. The button must be stuck in the independence selection. How about a truth button instead? Yours, etc., Alexander Mackay, by email. Farage rejected. Sir, many valid and intelligent conclusions have been drawn from the result of the Hamilton by-election. However, there is one conclusion that doesn't seem to have been given much of an airing, i.e. that 3/4 of the voters in Hamilton want nothing to do with the pernicious, far-right poison preached by Reform. Yours, etc., David Hamill, by email. Winter gruel. Sir, the UK rules regarding the right to winter fuel allowance are clear, i.e. earnings of £35,000 or less being cut-off point. The Scottish Government have decided on 3 categories. A. £200 for those in pension credit, knowing that a huge number of pensioners miss out on that benefit due to small worked pensions. B. £100 to those not in pension credit. C. Those wealthy people who can opt out of their £100. Why does the Scottish Government always have to be different? They know we pay more tax than the rest of the UK, but we receive less winter fuel allowance. They also know we are colder longer over the winter than the rest of the UK. Let us hope that once they get the extra Barnett formula money, that they increase the payment rather than sidetrack the money for something else. Yours, etc., Elizabeth Hands, by email. Rules are rules, sir. So John Swinney claims EU membership could bring an independent Scotland security, stability and opportunity? I too regret Brexit, but let us never forget that all those voting for independence in 2014, by voting for Skexit, also voted for Brexit. Plus, perhaps unsurprisingly, Swinney ignores that Scotland's excessively high deficit levels, over 3 times higher than the 3% tolerated by EU fiscal rules, means that, whatever narrative SNP politicians might spin, the EU would reject an application from Scotland, probably for many years, until Holyrood's overspending was brought under control by cutting public services and raising taxes. Yours, etc., Martin Redfern, by email. And that was this week's Bishopbriggs and Kirkintilloch Herald letters page.
Education helps tackle the crime of sextortion, by Kevin McRoberts. Fearless, the youth service of independent charity Crime Stoppers, has launched a new Scotland-wide education resource aimed at helping young people better understand, recognise and respond to sextortion. This launch marked a key milestone in Fearless's widely praised sextortion awareness campaign, which ran in 2 phases from November to December 2024 and February to March 2025. Co-produced with young people and supported by the Scottish Government and Police Scotland, the campaign achieved significant engagement across digital platforms. The charity's campaign newly published impact report reveals that the social media campaign generated over 15 million impressions and over 98,000 swipes to the Fearless website, where tailored information and resources were available for young people, parents and caregivers and professionals. This success is believed to be a key factor in the 32.2% decrease in reports of sextortion in 2024 compared to 2023. The reduction is also attributed to the dedicated efforts of school engagement officers delivering sextortion presentations in schools. Additionally, the National Crime Agency's alerts to all schools, media coverage and the significant contributions of numerous organisations and services have all played important roles in raising awareness among young people. In response to direct feedback from educators, Fearless has developed a short, engaging video and accompanying facilitator notes designed for use in schools, colleges and youth settings. Created in collaboration with young people, this new resource provides a flexible and impactful way to raise sextortion awareness and support meaningful conversations with pupils. Siobhan Brown, Minister for Victims and Community Safety, who attended the launch, said, "Sextortion can have a devastating impact on young people and their families, and it can be a difficult topic to discuss. This resource, shaped by young people, will help start these discussions and raise awareness ahead of pupils finishing for their summer holidays. I want young people to be reassured that it is never their fault, there is help, and to always report these things to the police." Lindsay McDade, Fearless Scotland manager, said, "From the very beginning and throughout our sextortion campaign, we've placed great importance on listening to young people and the adults who support them. Their insights have been central to shaping the development of the project and its ultimate success. Teachers told us they needed something short, accessible and practical to help spark meaningful conversations about sextortion with young people. While there are already some excellent, more in-depth resources available, this new tool fills a gap identified by teachers themselves. It offers a safe, flexible approach that can be confidently used across a wide range of educational and youth work settings. That article was written by Kevin McRoberts.
Let's all light up the longest day! Report by Kevin McRoberts. Mary's Meals is inviting people to step into the sunshine with that Light Up on the Longest Day sponsored walk on June 21st. School feeding charity Mary's Meals is calling on people in Scotland to light up the longest day of the year with hope by taking on a sponsored walk. On June 21st, parts of the UK will see as much as 19 hours of sunlight, making it the perfect opportunity to pull on your hiking boots and help feed hungry children. Mary's Meals, the charity that started in a tin shed in the Scottish Highlands village of Dalmally in 2002, provides nutritious school meals to more than 2.6 million children every day across 16 countries, including Malawi, Haiti, India and Syria. The promise of a good meal attracts these hungry children into the classroom, giving them the energy to learn and hope for a brighter future. The charity's low-cost approach means it costs just £19.15 to feed a child every school day for a year. By stepping into the sunshine with friends, family, colleagues or on your own, supporters can turn their moves into meals to change a child's life. Simply set up a fundraiser or ask for donations, and any money raised, no matter how much, will help to transform the lives of children living in some of the world's poorest communities. Darryl Watson recently brought together 16 friends from across the globe to hike the famous West Highland Way, generating £5,000 for the school feeding charity. The 60-year-old is now calling on others to follow in his footsteps and fundraise to provide food for hungry children. Darryl says, "It's been a lifelong dream to walk the West Highland Way, all 96 miles of it. The views were simply spectacular. We all had some fun and games along the way, and despite the Scottish weather and midges, we've had an absolute blast. It's been a really good opportunity to raise some money for Mary's Meals too. If you choose to go out for a sponsored walk on June 21st, or whenever you want to put on your walking boots, you can transform your steps into paths of hope and help provide meals that can change lives." Mary's Meals is also encouraging people to join fellow supporters by sharing their sunrise and sunset snaps from their summer walks on social media, tagging @Mary's Meals UK charity, and using the hashtag Light Up the Longest Day to raise awareness of the charity's work. George Moorhead, Mary's Meals Support Engagement Officer, said, "We are surrounded by stunning scenery across the country, and the longest day of the year is the perfect time to make the most of it. You don't have to scale a mountain or take on the West Highland Way to make a difference. It costs just 10p to feed a child with Mary's Meals, so even a sponsored walk around the block with your neighbours can make a massive difference." To find out more about how you can light up the longest day and set up a Move for Meals fundraiser, visit www.marysmeals.org.uk/move4meals. That's www.marysmeals.org.uk/move-for-meals. That report was written by Kevin McRoberts.
Good day to you here. It's Philip here on cue for review, and it's church news from the Kirkintilloch Herald. Hope you had a good weekend. I was busy singing in the Royal Concert Hall. It was awesome. Anyway, church news. Milton Campsie church news. Our next Go Mad event will be Marmalada, beginning on Monday the 28th of July at 10 a.m. The full programme for children, young people and adults is in our notice board. Preparations continue for SU Camp at Gownbank and Go Mads Marmalada. Our summer messenger is now being put together and when printed will be put through every letterbox in the village. That is Milton Campsie Village. Cafe Connect meets today, Tuesday at 9:30am, time to pray for Wednesday at 7pm, followed by a Kirk session. Our services on Sunday, June the 22nd, will be a cafe church at 11am, to which everyone is invited. Baby and toddler group on Monday, 9:45, hobbies club at 2pm, and badminton club at 7:30pm. And now we move to, where do we move to? Yeah, we're going to Kirkintilloch Church of God at Regent Hall, Regent Street on Sunday at 11:30am. There will be a short Bible talk from Dr. Carol Smith. A warm welcome is extended to everyone who is able to join us. The Coffee Corner is now closed for the summer period and will reopen again on Wednesday, August the 20th. Thank you for the many people who regularly joined us over the past months and also for your generous contributions to the local food bank. For up-to-date and further information on our services, visit our website, allthews.regenthall.org. And our text for this week is, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Now to St Mary's Parish Church. The service on Sunday, June the 22nd, will begin at 11am. As usual, there will be age-appropriate activities for our young people in the halls during the service. Our next open doors day will take place on Wednesday, July the 2nd, when the church will be open from 10:30 till 3pm. Tea, coffee and biscuits will be available all day. On Wednesday, July the 16th, we will be holding a knit in when the crafters will be meeting in the church to knit poppies for the Remembrance banner or flowers for the decoration on the church railings. A light lunch will be provided from 12:15pm Wednesday. Welcome continues until Wednesday, June the 18th, when it stops for the summer tea. Coffee and all that, etc. will be available from 10am till 11:30am. And where do we go now? We're going to Lenzie. And to Lenzie Old Parish Church, that is. Sunday worship is at 11am, when most churches tend to meet. But some meet in different times. Some meet earlier, some later. But anyway, Lenzie Old Parish Church, led by the Reverend Julie Harty, a crest is available for children under 1 year of age. Under 1 year, okay, babies, right. Quilt and Craft Group meet every Wednesday, 10 till 12 noon in the session room. Come and sing. The dementia-friendly singing group is on Tuesday, June the 24th, 1:15 to 2:45. A warm welcome awaits all, and of course a cuppa with some delicious home baking. Please feel free to come and sing. Kirkintilloch and Lenzie Joint Churches Holiday Club, Deep Sea Divers for children in primary 1 to 7. That's primary classes 1 to 7. Book a free space on all or some of the days. Bible storytelling, arts and crafts, messy game, music, free fruit and snacks. Tuesday, August the 5th and Wednesday, August the 6th, 10 till 12 noon at St Mary's Parish Church, Cowgate. And then on Thursday, August the 7th and Friday, August the 8th, 10 till 12 noon at Lenzie Old Parish Church. And that's in Garngreeba. For more information and to book, contact kirkylenzieyouth@gmail.com. So there you have it. Now we're going to St David's Memorial Park. This Sunday, our services is at the usual time of 10:30am and will be led by our local worship leaders, Meg and Bill Lindsay, when the subject will be faith, facts and feelings. There you go. There will be a short lunchtime service on Tuesday at 12 noon and you're welcome to bring lunch to enjoy afterwards with teas and coffees. Our Friendship Club meets at 1:30pm when we have tea and coffee available when you come. Bring along knitting, sewing or crocheting, or just bring yourself and enjoy the friendly company. And now we move to the outer regions. We're going to St James Church, which is in Hilton Road, Bishopbriggs. And the minister there is Paul Watson. On Saturday, June the 21st, Dads and Kids is held from 10:45 to 12 noon. And it's a great chance for dads with young children to get together around some banter, bacon rolls and coffee while the kids play. There is a communion service in the chapel on Thursday, June the 19th at 11am and at 9am on Sunday, June the 22nd. The Sunday 10:30am communion service with hymns is in the church and on Zoom. Everyone is welcome to come along to any of these services. Do stay on for tea, coffee and fellowship afterwards. There are some other virtual services and groups. For up-to-date information, refer to their social media Facebook. That is James the Less Bishopbriggs, or their website is jamesbishopbriggs.org.uk. Now to Home Church. Home Church is in Lammermuir Road, Kirkintilloch. They also have locations in Carmel, Skilmore, Lake Lochaber, Livingston, and also they're online. The church that's online is a church for all ages. You may seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart. And that's a text from Jeremiah 29. And Sundays, 9:30 and 11:30 in Kirkintilloch, the worship service will be followed by refreshments. A warm welcome awaits you at either service, which will be identical. Also, children's church at the same times, evening service with communion on the 1st, 2nd and 4th Sunday of the month at various locations at 6:30 p.m. Monday there's a ladies' prayer meeting at 7 p.m. Read through the Bible discussion on Zoom every fortnight at 8 p.m. Tuesday there's the engine room. That's a teaching session in the church at 9:30 a.m. Wednesday, various venues for prayer and Bible study. Thursday, prayer meeting in the church at 7 a.m. Football is at 7:30 p.m. Friday's youth group, 7:30 p.m. Prayer meetings also 7:30 p.m. And home radio is available every day. See Facebook, Instagram and Home Church website for further information. And if you want to hear my dulcet tones, I'm on Monday night between 8 and 9. Although my dulcet tones today are a wee bit hoarse. And that's after doing 2 concerts in the Royal Concert Hall at the weekend, which was awesome. Out to Lindsay Union Parish Church. Sunday morning service on June the 22nd is at 11 a.m, led by Mrs. Roberta Logan. Young people are also welcome at the Lighthouse and Bible class. Live stream of the service will be available on YouTube. Art for Seniors is on Monday, June the 26th at 1:30 p.m. in the new hall. Enjoy creating a piece of art under the step-by-step guidance of artist Bev McCluskey. No experiences needed. Yay! And now we go to Bishopbriggs again. Yes, Springfield Cambridge Church on Sunday, June the 22nd. Morning worship will be conducted by the Reverend Ian Taylor in the sanctuary at 11 a.m. An offering will be taken as usual during the service. Put money in the offering plate. And the Sunday school meets in room 2 where creche facilities are also available. Morning worship is also being live streamed on the Springfield Cambridge Church YouTube channel. A link to this can be found on the Springfield Cambridge Church website. All the W's, springfieldcambridge.org.uk and Facebook page, that is, where up-to-date information about events and church organisations can also be found. There will be no vestry hour on Wednesday, June the 18th. There will be no midweek service on Wednesday, June the 18th, and the Guild is inviting the congregation to join them in supporting the Eastern Berkshire Food Bank warehouse by bringing donations and leaving them in the cupboard in the cloakroom. And there's a list there for specific items they're looking for. On Sunday, June the 22nd, after church, the Sunday school invite the congregation for food, fun and fellowship. I like a wee alliteration. Food, fun and fellowship. And now lastly to Torrance Parish Church, which I was at last week because I decided to go there and hear the speaker, and he was really good. And the morning service there at Torrance in person at 10:30, conducted by Stuart Irvin. During the service, the youngsters meet together in Crest Junior Church and Frog, which means Friends of God. To join the service online, click on all the W's, Torrance Parish Church.online.church. The cafe is open every Wednesday from 9 to 12 noon for teas, coffees and delicious home baking. Why not come and taste for yourself? Summer Holiday Club, join us this summer for a tale of 2 kings, an exciting holiday club for all children, starting school in August right up to primary 7, from August the 4th to the 6th between 10 a.m. and 12 noon in our church. And it will be buzzing with stories, games, crafts and songs that promise to bring joy and discovery to every child. It's a wonderful opportunity for kids to make new friends, explore the Bible and create lasting memories. To find out more about this, check their regular weekly activities. Yes, you guessed it, check the website for what's on at www.tpc.org.uk. And you know that TPC stands for Torrance Parish Church. Well, it's been good sharing the church news with you this week. I hope you had a good week this week and you managed to get out to one of the local church services in your area. God bless you. This is Philip saying goodbye.
Wednesday the 18th of June. District News. Holyrood View. How can we improve our transport? By Jamie Green, MSP. Some readers may not know me, but I am one of your MSPs for the West of Scotland region. I joined the Scottish Liberal Democrats recently, having sat previously as a Conservative MSP. Like many folk, I was dismayed at their lurch to the right and felt politically homeless until I joined the Lib Dems. They get stuff done and treat people with respect and decency, which goes far in my line of work. I was previously unable to update you through columns like this, but I'm grateful to now be able to keep you up to date on what's going on in Holyrood. I've also been made the Liberal Democrat spokesperson on the economy, finance and, very importantly for East Bartonshire, transport. Let's be honest, our public transport system is in a bad way. I was struck by a recent Facebook post from ScotRail showing that to travel from Greenock to Mulgai Station, passengers head south rather than north. Interesting stuff. However, it did allow eagle-eyed commentators to point out that under ScotRail, it's not possible to get a direct train between Greenock and Mulgai. Many such cases exist across the west of Scotland and throughout the country. As a result of poor planning, ineffective funding and no modern vision for transport, Scotland's connectivity just isn't up to scratch. Once you're in one of our major cities, like Glasgow or Edinburgh, getting around is easy, but getting to them and between the towns and villages outside has become increasingly difficult. As Liberal Democrats transport spokesman, I want to do more than heap justified criticism on the Scottish Government. I want to work with them, communities and others across the West, to get our transport system up to scratch. Commuters desperately need reliable, well-planned trains and buses. They deserve better, and I'm committed to delivering that for them. I'm also open to hearing from you about how you think transport in our region can be improved. My office is also open to help you and your family whenever and wherever I can. Please email directly if you want to chat at jamie.green.msp@parliament.scot. That's JAMIE.GREENE@parliament.scot. Clubs. St Columba's Men's Club. At 7:30pm every Monday, St Columba's Men's Club meet in the Church Hall in Old Isle Road, Kirkintilloch, and offer a very warm welcome, together with the chance to play a bit of pool or snooker, dominoes, or even some table tennis. If none of these appeal, how about a cup of coffee or tea and a chat? Our members come not only from Kirkintilloch, but also from Lenzie, Cumbernauld, Milton of Campsie and Bearsden. If you would like more details, contact either Ian Gibb on 0141 776 5453 or Jim Kennedy on 07767 124 416. Kirkintilloch Rock Choir. Your friendly local Kirkintilloch choir is run by singing teacher Elaine Williamson. The choir will be performing locally again soon, so it's a chance for you to join in, sing and perform without pressure and under supportive guidance of Elaine. We sing in Kirkintilloch every week during term time. You can join the choir by going to www.rockchoir.com. That's www.rockchoir.com, or you can also book a free singing taster session to try it beforehand. English paper piecing. Join us on Saturday, June 28th at the Regent Centre for a captivating demonstration and discover the timeless charm of English paper piecing, EPP. This meticulous hand sewing technique involves wrapping fabric around paper templates and then stitching the fabric pieces together to create intricate and beautiful designs. Book it allevents.in. Karen Dunbar. June 28th, Kirkintilloch Town Hall. One of Scotland's best known comedy actors, Karen Dunbar, started off in the sketch show Chewing the Fat. She then went on to star in her own show, The Karen Dunbar Show, which received various awards and nominations. Karen has trod the boards in everything from Glasgow Panto to West End theatre, performed Burns, Shakespeare, stand-up and DJ'd, all in New York, and last year DJ'd at Transmit and in Ibiza. In 2014 she opened the Commonwealth Games in front of 40,000 folk and 1 billion viewers. From wee pubs to the National Theatre, Karen has captivated audiences with her mix of comedy, music and acting talents. Tickets £25 from www.skiddle.com. That's www.skiddle.com. True Crime Live. International crime expert David Swindle brings his gripping live show Murder, A Search for the Truth to Glasgow on Sunday, October the 12th at the city's award-winning venue, Barra's Art and Design, from 1:30pm to 3:30pm. Known for unmasking serial killer Peter Tobin and leading the now infamous Operation Anagram, Swindle is a seasoned investigator who knows exactly how to hold a room. This isn't a theatrical retelling, it's the real story stripped back. With over 40 years of experience, Swindle guides audiences through Britain's darkest crimes with a clarity and calm that's hard to ignore. He's joined on stage by broadcaster and publicist Heather Sooty, whose sharp questions get to the heart of what the audience really wants to know. There will be behind-the-scenes details from high-profile murder cases, insights from the Peter Tobin investigation and cold cases, the psychology of killers, nature versus nurture, warning signs, can you tell who's capable of murder? And the question that won't go away, can someone commit the perfect murder? Swindle doesn't dramatise, he informs. Expect plain speaking, uncomfortable truths and the victim's story at the centre of it all. Too often the killer gets the spotlight. This show is about truth, justice and the people left behind. It's always about the victims. David Swindle. Sooty brings a publicist's insight and a true crime fan's curiosity, asking the questions the audience is thinking. Together, they break down each case piece by piece. If you obsess over true crime documentaries, have a podcast queue full of unsolved cases, or want to hear how real investigators work, this is 2 hours you won't forget. Tickets on sale now, priced £24, plus booking fee available via Eventbrite. Diana Ross, live in concert. On Wednesday, June 25th at OVO Hydro, performing all her greatest hits from the Supremes to the present day. Tickets available from www.ovohydro.com. That's www.ovohydro.com. And that was this week's District News, Wednesday, 18th of June. Wednesday the 18th of June, public notices, licence applications, East Northamptonshire Council public notices, Civic Government Scotland Act 1982, application for grant of market operator licence. The undernoted has applied for the grant of a market operator licence in terms of the above Act. Name and address of applicant: Winter Events Limited, Kilbride Accountants, 14 Stroud Road, East Kilbride, G75 0YA. Day-to-day manager: Laura Thompson. Site/area of operation: Torrance War Memorial, Main Street, Torrance, G64 4EX. Type of goods/services: hot and cold produce, arts, crafts and gifts. Hours of business: second Saturday of each month, 10 AM to 2 PM. Any objections or representations in terms of paragraph 3, brackets 1 of Schedule 1 of the Act should be lodged with the undernoted no later than 28 days from the publication date of the newspaper in which this advertisement appears. Chief Solicitor and Monitoring Officer, Legal and Regularity Services, East Northamptonshire Council, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TJ. Email civic.licensing@eastonbarton.gov.uk. That's civic@eastonbarton.gov.uk. Civic Government Scotland Act 1982. Application for renewal of a second-hand vehicle licence. The undernoted has applied for the renewal of a second-hand vehicle dealer licence in terms of the above Act. Name and address of applicant: Arnold Clark Automobiles Limited, 454 Hillington Road, Hillington Park, Glasgow, G52 4FH. Day-to-day manager: David Boyd. Premises: Arnold Clark, 69 Auchinloch Road, Lenzie, Kirkintilloch, Glasgow, G66 5EZ. Days and hours of trading: Monday to Friday 9am to 8pm, Saturday 9am to 6pm, Sunday 11am to 6pm. Any objections or representations in terms of paragraph 3, brackets 1 of Schedule 1 of the Act should be lodged with the undernoted no later than 28 days from the publication date of the newspaper in which this advertisement appears. Chief Solicitor and Monitoring Officer, Education, People and Business, East Dunbartonshire Council, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TJ. Email civic.licensing@eastonbarton.gov.uk. That's civic@easttonbarton.gov.uk. And that was Wednesday the 18th of June's public notices from the Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald. Sport. Fighting back to secure victory. Report by Martin Dempster. Scott Henry is a winner again after going to hell and back as he battled two separate injuries and feeling that his game had become borderline embarrassing. Henry was one of Scotland's brightest prospects when he won the Kazakhstan Open on the Challenge Tour in 2012. He returned to winning ways by landing the Scottish Par 3 Championship at the Paul Lawrie Golf Centre on the outskirts of Aberdeen. The latest event on this season's Tartan Pro Tour saw Henry card rounds of 52, 52, 51 for a 7-under par total, which was marked by Chris McLean following scores of 51, 54 and 50. In a sudden death playoff in the Devonick course, Henry came out on top with a birdie at the first extra hole to pick up a cheque for £4,500. The 38-year-old admitted it was great to feel as though a nightmare period in his career was finally over. Henry, who coaches at Bishopbriggs Golf Range, said, "I've worked really hard to get some sort of fitness back and be able to have my golf back to a decent standard again, so I'm delighted. I can't take you through all of it as it is too painful to go back over, if I'm being perfectly honest. I had an issue with my back and I got a poor diagnosis with that earlier on, and then I ended up injuring my leg as well. I had two injuries working against each other over a long period of time without realising how serious both were. I just couldn't recover and my game went from being always at a very strong standard to just not being able to compete. For pretty much most of my pro career, the lowest level of standard was at the top end of the Challenge Tour, competing to get my main tour card. Then I got basically to the point where I couldn't even compete within Scotland, so it feels great to be getting closer to what it should be, though it will never quite be the same physicality that it used to be. I'm older now as well, and it's nice to feel that I can compete properly again. I have felt better physically for the last year, but it's just taken time to get my game up to a decent standard." Henry made around 80 appearances on the DP World Tour, including 2 second place finishes, and more than 170 on the Challenge Tour. He added, "If I knew it was going to take as long as it has, I probably wouldn't have done it, because I've lost a lot of money doing it. I've put in a hell of a lot of effort and had a lot of failed rehabs. Those were pretty painful experiences when I wasn't getting the issues fixed, and, honest to God, the standard of my golf felt was borderline embarrassing. It was genuinely that bad. So to have the mental fortitude to grind away at it and be able to get my game to a much better standard now is great, though I still have a long way to go." Craig Chalmers from Lenzie won the Dumbartonshire Golf Union (DGU) Match Play Championship. Chalmers put in a very strong performance to achieve victory, as the event was hosted at the Cardross Golf Club. He beat Chris Clark from Bearsden in the quarter-finals, before seeing off Kieran Quinn from Clydebank in District in the last four. This set up a meeting with Cardross player Chris Ruin in the final, who'd overcome another Lenzie golfer, David Lindsay, in the other semi. However, home advantage wasn't enough, as Chalmers added to his Champion of Champions crown. That article was written by Martin Dempster.
Rugby fixture list for the new season is announced. Uncredited. Read by Alan Todd. Scottish Rugby has announced the full fixture list ahead of the 2025-2026 season. The Arnold Clark Men's Premiership will kick off on Saturday, August 23rd, while the Women's Premiership will begin the week prior, Saturday, August 16th. This earlier start allows players the opportunity to travel and support Scotland in their opening Women's Rugby World Cup fixture on August 23rd. The change in the Men's Premiership start date follows feedback gathered during consultations with the male adult game in February and March, where adjusting the season's opening weekend emerged as a key theme. Some regional leagues will also begin on this revised date, while others, along with National League Divisions 1, 2, 3 and 4, will start the following week. Inspire Sport Youth Club fixtures have also been confirmed, while schools fixtures were shared directly with the schools in April. While the women's rugby calendar is largely unchanged, the adult male competitions will see changes implemented. These include scheduled playing breaks across several leagues and a shutdown period from mid-December 2025 until January 10th, 2026. The men's league competitions will once again run concurrently with the Scottish Cup, National League Cup, Shield and Bowl competitions, while the Inter-District Championships will return after its hiatus in season 2024-25. The full list of fixtures are available by visiting the Scottish Rugby website. Read by Alan Todd. Football is helping to better lives. Written by Brian Newell. Read by Alan Todd. Jerry Britton says he is living my best life, as he stressed how football can play an important role in touching lives. The former Celtic, Dundee and Partick Thistle striker has been Chief Operating Officer of Street Soccer Scotland for the past year. Britton, who also managed Stranraer and Thistle, as well as being Chief Executive of the Firhill Club, attended 3 events at Hampden Park over the course of a week. The Bishopbriggs man wrote in his LinkedIn page on Thursday, "The last 7 days have reminded me of a few things. The iconic aura of Hampden Park, the importance of volunteers in ensuring as many lives as possible are touched by the beautiful game, and how blessed I am to be living my best life." Our charity partnership with the SFA saw our Homeless World Cup squad invited along to the international match against Iceland on June 6th. Prior to the match, players from our Street Soccer Scotland sessions volunteered to man our hexagon in the fan zone, giving kids in attendance the chance to hone their skills in a fun setting. On Wednesday, June the 11th, I returned to Hampden for an unforgettable experience as we hosted a series of kickback challenge matches. It was awe-inspiring to see our corporate partners share a dressing room and pitch with our local players and volunteers, many of whom had never visited the stadium before. Volunteers played a central role in making this day as special as possible for all participants. Yesterday, Thursday, I notched up my 3rd Hampden visit of the week, having been invited by Football Memories Scotland to speak in the Hall of Fame lounge. It was brilliant to chat with over 50 footballing aficionados about players, goals, matches, images and characters from yesteryear. It was great to see in all present how personal memories of football can stir emotions in a way that not many other interactions can. I also had the great pleasure to catch up with legendary Partick Thistle club doctor Alan Robertson, a wonderful human being who epitomises everything good that football brings to our lives. Surround yourself with good people and you'll become a better person. Written by Brian Newell, read by Alan Todd. Speedway. Thompson is awarded a wild card for the SGP2. Written by Phil Lanning, read by Alan Todd. Glasgow Tigers rider Dan Thompson has been awarded a permanent wildcard place in the SGP2 World Under-21 Championship Series. The 21-year-old was given a spot after he missed out on the qualifier due to a broken scaphoid injury. Thompson had made an excellent start to the season before being injured during the British Under-21 Championship and expects to be back soon. He said last week, "I'm delighted to have received a wild card for the SGP2 series. It was one of my aims for this year to compete in the series, but unfortunately I had to withdraw from the qualifier due to my injury a week prior to the meeting. However, I'm massively grateful for this opportunity. Recovery from my injury is going well. I've been having additional treatment to speed things up, so all being well I should be back in the next 2 weeks." Tigers team boss Cammy Brown is delighted Thompson has got one last shot at under-21 glory. He said, "Dan has been sensational so far this season and the crash couldn't have come at a worse time. It probably denied Dan the British Under-21 title and his place in the SGP2 series, but thankfully the FIM have given him a spot as it's his last year to go for a medal. It's also fabulous news he's getting closer to recovery. We only want him back when he's ready, but he's been sorely missed." Meanwhile, fellow Tigers rider Ashton Bowen believes his shoulder injury may have come at a good time after admitting he was exhausted. The 17-year-old suffered the knock whilst racing for his other team, Kings Lynn, having previously sustained a hip injury earlier in the season. Bowen wrote on Facebook, "I'm not sure when I will be fit to come back, but I am feeling exhausted from it all at the moment, so the injury has come at the right time." Brown added, "It's been a tough time for Ashton, and the early season crash certainly didn't help him. He has shown signs of his old self. He rode well at Edinburgh in the BSN meeting and then at Scunthorpe, however was completely off the pace at Armadale at the end of last month." Tigers return to action this Friday as Plymouth Gladiators come calling in the Championship. Written by Phil Lanning, read by Alan Todd.
That's the end of the podcast. We at Q and Review Print Speaking to the Blind hope you enjoyed it. More next week.